and welcome to Soul Sisters Sunday. And this is all about authenticity. I have my soul sister from across the pond, ASRIA, here. So I just wanted to give a little, I like to bring up the thumbnail. I worked so hard on it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. I'm such a perfectionist. It's like I should just whip. People think that coming up with thumbnails is very easy. It really isn't. It really isn't. And I am, like I was just saying, I'm neurodivergent, and you brought that up. And now I use that all the time because I am such a perfectionist. I'm OCD, whatever. They used to call it anal retentive, but that's, back when I was growing up. But anyway, so we're going to talk all about authenticity because it's all about authenticity. It is the highest vibration, is it not, soul sister?
I could not agree more. And I think it's becoming more and more apparent as we kind of move forward and awaken and ascend. It's just because there's no one else is you. You are the highest vibration of you. Yeah. And that's amazing.
Yep. And we've been taught to compare ourselves to other people and to be everyone else except for ourselves. So it's great that we're learning to be ourselves. Before we get into the nitty gritty, we do have some announcements. First and foremost, I'm going to share my screen to ASRIA'S website. She just refurbished her website and she's doing a whole bunch of new She has a whole bunch of new different, let's say, services. And ASRIA is also having a little bit of a discount for those that watch on my channel and your channel. So ASRIA, did you want to take it away with the discount? And there's so many different, let's just say, she has integration, mentorship, resonance, all this. So work with me. I'm going to go to work with me and all the different types of services that she has. Beautiful, beautiful website. I need to refurbish my website. I'm putting that off. Mine's just so simple and cranky. It's just like ridiculous. You have such a beautiful website. But as we talk about the different services, and I'm going to bring up your discount for those that are watching on my channel or yours, because I'm going to give, this is a taped video, but I always give the video for ASRIA to put on her channel like the day after.
No, thank you so much, Dee. It's as Dee was just saying, it's the case of Alarian Resonance is now launched. It's now live. Some of you may have remembered my previous site called Ascension Through Connection, but this is very much as we're moving through all this new change. It's changing with it. It's not necessarily kind of staying in one place. So a lot of the work that I do is all about, and that's why I absolutely love the topic of this show, is because it's remembering who we are. It's remembering, and it's going back to that frequency. So some people may remember like some of the work I was doing before around tuning in to the frequency and the vibrations of the star beings that we've had connections with, the star beings that sort of make our energy up. So when we're talking about like the integration, it's having that level of understanding, having that one person to just fire those questions at, and to go, actually, I'm hearing this and I'm feeling that. So that is a lot of what the work's based on. But before we even get into that, is that when I'm talking about here is the hashtag new 50% off connection call, is just to start those conversations, because I think sometimes there is a lot of people doing a lot of work and some amazing stuff as well. But you think, oh, is that person for me? You know what? Just come have a call. Just come have a call first. And you know what? You might get your question answered within that first call. Because sometimes it's just that one seed that might need planting at that one time, and then you can then go on and do all of this amazing stuff yourself. So by all means. And then the second thing is one I've been absolutely passionate about for years. And the fact that we are in this space now is to bring more people together. And I know, I mean, my clients are international, obviously knowing D as well, like America, etc. But it doesn't really matter. But the reason we've got this technology, the reason we've got these internet connections, is so that we can actually make other connections. So with the community, so it's Alarian Rising, and it's a monthly where we all get together and ask the questions and do meditations, and then there's transmissions that I share, and my aim is to then maybe once a month have somebody new come in to talk about something that's very different, or very new, or to provide further information. So it's just starting to bring people in, or further people into that community, because I won't necessarily say it goes on for an hour, 2 hours, sometimes it's longer. But again, it's just being able to bring like-minded people together, because I know personally that having these connections in the internet has certainly helped me connect with some amazing people, including the wonderful Lady D as well. I mean, without the internet, we would still be in our little houses on our own. So I welcome you guys to, please feel free to use the code there, and it's as you go through to the basket. You put it in the basket and you go through to the payment and stuff, it'll ask you for it. But any issues, any questions, all my contact details are on the website there. Or if you just want to drop me a message, that would be great too. So thank you very much, Dee, and I look forward to meeting and connecting with you all. Thank you.
Well, Asri, I think I want you to do my website, because your website is so beautiful. I'm going to have to change and do the Wix like you, because your website is beautiful and I love the graphics. Yeah, I have to update my website. So
it's taken me a long time. Me and technology are not necessarily friends.
I know. Me too. Me too.
Thank you so much. It's been a labor of love, but sometimes I wanted to throw the laptop out the window.
I hear you. I hear you. It was just I have a very simple website. I've had the same thing, and I know I need to get better. Anyway, so Asria's website and all her social contacts, as well as her YouTube channel, will be underneath in the description of this show. This is a taped show, but I'm going to put it out as a live, because with StreamYard we can do that. So I have StreamYard, so I'm going to put it out as a live. And the reason why we do that is because there's a live chat and people like to get together. Asria was speaking about the community, and there are a lot of us that are our friends and family are not in the vicinity of us. They're across the pond in England over there, like Asria is, and I'm here in America in Massachusetts. So I like to do these tape shows and do the lives so we can have a live chat. And also I can be in the live chat and I can talk to you all more than if I was doing a live show. I do like to communicate. Obviously, when there's a live show, it's fun to do it. But I like to do these taped shows so I can also be in the live chat. And as I put it out as a live, we can have the live chat. And I can be in the live chat and I can communicate. And yeah, it's fun. More so than if we're doing a live, because I have to be on. We have to be on. So Asria, one last thing I want to talk about. I'm almost out of the year-end forecast. I was only doing 20, so there's 2 left. So in the description of this show will also be the link to my year-end forecast readings. They are done via email. Okay, I originally started off with 20. I only had 20, and then when I'm sold out, because if I do too many, I won't be able to get them done in a timely fashion. So I only did 20, and when I'm sold out of 20, I'll do those. And once I finish doing all those, then I'll open it up again. I don't want to do too many of them, because then people will be waiting too long for their year-end forecast via email. So there's only 2 left. Okay, there was originally 20. So if you're interested in getting one of these. It's a year-end forecast reading via email. It's what you can expect between now and the end of the year. It's via email. And the description of the show underneath will be a link. It's not available on my website. It will only be available on my Buy Me a Coffee via the link. Excuse me. There's only 2 left, so if, and they'll go quick. So if you're interested in the description of this show, be the link. Once I'm sold out, I'm sold out. So if you try to buy it and you can't, it's because they're sold out. All right, I think we are all done with the announcements. So let's get back to the nitty gritty, Azria. Reason why we decided to do this show is because ever since the 11/11 portal, I have been feeling quite different. And usually with these portals, I have to tell you, everyone makes a big deal out of them and they come and go, and I usually don't feel all that different. And I will tell you that for those who don't know me, don't know my story, I have a lot of people that are here that have been with me since I started the channel close to 3 years ago. But if you don't know my story, this year has been, God has really cleared out my life. I am going through a divorce. My husband and I abruptly ended our marriage, and he went off to Canada and never came back. And I haven't talked to him in 8 months. I have no way to get in touch with him. And I'm in the process of a divorce, and I want to divorce him, but I can't even get him to return an email. And then, or excuse me, a text. The day after, my husband and I called it quits. My best friend took off on me and she abandoned me. And I've just a series of people that I've done shows with, and that was part of the spiritual community. I realized they weren't really my friends, and they used and abused me. And when my usefulness was over and I was no longer useful to them, they wiped their hands of me, and they shall remain nameless. But I've really learned, I've lost a lot. And with all of the different, let's say, God has been cleaning out the closets of my life, and with every loss, there's also been a label taking away from me. So I'm no longer a wife. I'm soon to be an ex-wife. And 3 years ago, when the pandemic happened and I lost my big state job after being an executive assistant and working in business administration for over 35 years, all of a sudden I'm no longer an EA. And then I became a psychic, a full-time psychic and tarot reader. But what I've learned in this last year, it's like I'm no longer a best friend. I'm no longer this. Whenever you have a loss or a change in your life, it makes you dig deep down inside, because it's like you lose a part of yourself. So what am I if I'm not a wife? What am I if I'm not an executive assistant? See how we've put labels on ourselves and they become our identity? And so the loss that I've gone through in this past year, though I would never, ever want to go through it again. It has sucked. I've spent so many nights crying because I've been very much alone. And I was talking to Azria earlier before we decided to do the show about how this isolation at times, it can be pretty intense and it can suck, but I actually enjoy my isolating now. And I like being alone, because you don't realize that your opinions and who you are and who you become are the people around us. Like we don't realize how our friends, whether it's our group of friends or our family, or even the people that we go to work with and become that group, it's like their thoughts, their opinions. We don't realize that we don't know who we truly are. We blend in with all these people and we let them influence us. But when we isolate and we're hermited and we don't have the opinions of others or that influence or the energies of others, you really find out who you truly are. And that's when you become authentic. And I don't think there is any spiritual person out there that has not said that authenticity is the highest vibration. It is the highest vibration. It's all about being authentic. So, Azria, I just went on for about a half hour. Anything that you want to say in regards to what I just said?
I'll have my half hour in a minute. You're all good. No, this is such an emotive topic, and it's such a personal topic for each of us. And I know obviously with your journey as well, and for so many others, including myself. And it wasn't until, again, like you were saying, later in life, and you don't think, oh, well, I used to do this as a kid, or I used to do that as a kid. But just to put that into context, is that you might be one of those sensitives or those intuitives that you've known since you were knee high, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, around the frequencies, around energies. Obviously, you didn't quite appreciate what they were there, but you've seen the other side. You've seen spirit. You've worked with other energies and things like that your whole life. But so, and to you, that's you. There's nothing unusual about that. But then, as Dee was saying, as we grow up, because remember, something that's just come to mind. When we were at school, we get, oh, yeah, here we go. We get asked, what do we want to be? Do we want to be the fireman? Do we want to be the nurse? Do we want to be the doctor? Do we want to be the wife? Do we want to be the mother? So even at a young age, we're kind of going, oh, who do I need to be? Or what do I need to be? So it's not like, yes, that's what I will do. But like Dee was saying, that's the label. I mean, to me, I was the shop worker, then I was the data entry clerk, then I was the assistant project manager, then the project manager, then the technical data analyst, then and in between there, I was the girlfriend, I was the carer, I was the nurse, I was the wife, always being the daughter. But then it was, I'm like, oh, hold on a minute. Similar to Dee. Oh, okay, I'm not the wife anymore. And actually, no, I've just been made redundant. Okay, so I'm not whatever that role was. Oh, I'm not looking after anyone for a change. Okay, I'm not the carer either. Who am I? Yeah. But then you go back to that 5-year-old, that 6-year-old. I'm Azria. Or I'm Sarah, or I'm whatever. Anything, actually, that's the authentic. That's the person. That's the soul. I hope that makes sense, because that's how it resonates with me.
Exactly. You know, we've been taught that we are the labels that people have put on us. Like I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a doctor. I want to be a fireman. I want to be a teacher. I want to be a nurse, whatever the case may be. But it's all about, as we are ascending now, we're learning that in order to ascend, who we truly are is that we have to take off these labels. We have to be completely naked of all these labels, because we're not the doctors, we're not the nurses, we're not the mothers, we're not the sisters, we're not the brothers, we're not. Because think about it. What happens if you give yourself these labels? Like, for instance, when you're a teacher and you retire, who are you? You're an ex-teacher. You're not a teacher anymore. Everything that we have in this physical world, everything that we can touch that's tangible, is transient. It's forever changing. the mothers, you know, it's like our mothers, we were a mother, and then we grow up, our kids grow up, and then they leave the house. No longer they're not the mother. They'll always be the mother, but their usefulness, and they're not the mother anymore. Then they have to take a different role. Everything in this life is transient, but what we truly are is we are an infinite, everlasting soul. That's the only thing that we truly are. That's the only thing that doesn't change. And yet it does change. That's the paradox of it. Because we are an infinite soul, we're always changing, we're always evolving. So the rub about ascending is that we want to get to ascension, we want to get to 5D. But the human side of us, the 3D, the ego, a part of us doesn't want to let go of these labels, of these 3Ds, of these identities. Because the thing is that we aren't mothers, we aren't psychics, we aren't brothers or sisters or wives or husbands. These are just roles that we are temporarily playing. We are actors wearing these costumes. This is what we really are. We are infinite beings. We are souls. We are spirits in physical flesh. We are in these meat suits. We are everlasting, infinite souls that are magical. So the whole thing about being authentic is taking away these labels, is taking away these identities. And I find it in my personal soul therapy sessions, in my readings, that people are stuck in this in between, and people are really struggling because they want to get to 5D, they want to get to the next step, but they're still holding on to these identities or these labels. And unfortunately, when you are going to the next step, when you are changing and you are evolving, sometimes you have to be willing to let go of things and people and circumstances to get to the next level. What say you, Azria?
Yeah, I absolutely, completely agree. And the one thing I will add on to that as well is that it can be a bumpy ride. I mean, yeah, I mean, some of us can take days, weeks, months, years. Because, I mean, whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, or however old, obviously we've been on this planet for X amount of those sort of human years. So where you might be going, yeah, I'm feeling all these things, I'm dialing into these frequencies, I'm going through my journey, I'm doing the shadow work and everything like that. But as Dee said, it's gonna, at the end of the day, it is still, oh, I need to go back to being a mum or that. We're not saying not to do those roles, because yes, you've got children to care for and parents to care for, and obviously work to do in order to bring the money in and things like that. But it's how it feels in here. And I mean, some of us, it's taken 5 years, 6 years. And also, you might also come to a point as well where you think, yeah, I've done it. I'm fully on 110% authentic. This is me. And then you might go, oh, hold on a minute. There's still those one or two people that I can't say that I like this, or I can't do that, or they think I like this, or oh yeah, I told them I like that the other day. I don't really. And they might pop up again. So you know what? That's when I mean it can be a little bit bumpy. And don't be hard on yourself.
Yes.
Really, really do not be hard on yourself, because we've all done it.
Right.
We've got, even like in my journey, it's kind of got to a point where I was like, yes, okay, I've had the few years after the pandemic and the divorce and everything like that, and kind of, as people say, the hermit phase. Well, yeah, I'm ready, coming out. And then it was about a year or two later, I was like, ooh, maybe no, I didn't, because actually I'm still wearing things I don't really want to wear, and I'm still listening to things that, oh, do I actually really? really like that, because it's the small things as well.
Yeah.
It's the small things. As Dee was saying before, it's kind of like, maybe like with your clothes, are you wearing what you like to wear? It can be something as small as that. I mean, I changed my hair pink a year ago. That was me. That was my big kind of, this is me.
Yep.
I wanted to do it for ages, but I always thought, I don't know. Well, I was in the corporate world for a small time as well. That is a big no-no. Covering up tattoos, not doing your hair. I mean, God, I think even if I wore the wrong shade of lipstick, I got talked about in the toilets and the coffee room.
I don't miss those days. I don't miss that.
No, exactly. Don't miss stuff like that at all.
No.
So don't worry that you think, okay, well, I've kind of done this one big step. And then, oh no, because it's all learning.
Yeah.
And as I said, it might be that you just want to start changing little things. How does that feel for you? How does that sit with you? I mean, you might wear really bright clothes today, and then they'll go, oh, actually, no, I prefer to wear more blues, or whatever the case may be. Anyway, I'm going off on a fashionable tangent.
Yep. We want pink hair, and sometimes we want frosted hair, like me. We want something different. Yeah, I know. And that's the perfect segue. It's about people's influence and doing things to please people. Now, this is the perfect segue. Now, last night, all right, the last week or so, I haven't been down with the politics. Okay. And last night I was really, really tired, and I was done with, I'm done with politics, because this is the deal. I like it and I follow it, but I'm not into, I don't think there's enough to do a whole show about it. And yet everyone expects the big Saturday Night Live show. That's my big show where I do the current events and viral news, and everyone, I'm on and I do my sound effects, and everyone expects it because that's what I'm known for. However, ever since the 11/11 portal, especially, I've been so disenchanted with politics, especially because it's so in our faces that this is a movie. I mean, last night I showed the IMDb page of the new mayor, the mayor-elect Zoharan, I can never pronounce his friggin' name, Zoharan Mamdani, and his IMDb page, proving that he's an actor playing a role. And I got last night that he's working for the White Hats now to keep himself alive, because he was been in trouble working for, the cabal. And in the past, I've done shows where I've brought up the IMDb page for Arthur Roberts, who's the actor who's been playing Joe Biden, who played Joe Biden for many years. He was dying of cancer. He may have already passed away of cancer. I'm not sure. But he was, and it said it right there that when you went to Arthur Roberts, it said he played Joe Biden for these certain amount of years. I mean, it's right there. And if people don't know what an IMDb page is, for those that are across the pond, it's for anyone that's in central casting, anyone in acting who wants to be, who is an actor or an actress, they have an IMDb page, because it shows everything that they have done artistically, whether it's in a movie, any type of production, Broadway, whatever, anyone who's in central casting, who wants to be serious, or who has done anything, any big acting jobs for SAG or anything, it has an IMDb page. Now, why would Zoharan, so I can't ever pronounce his name, Mamdani, I'll just say his name, Mamdani, call me Mamdani, why would he have an IMDb page saying he's an actor? See, we're watching a movie. And so it's very hard for me, ever since the 11/11 portal and all the work that I've been doing this past year, it's getting to the point now that, because I know that this is a circus, it's a clown circus, and I know that we're just watching a movie, we're watching a narrative that's controlled by the White Hats, that's not for us, not for anyone that's watching my channel or your channel. It's for the normies. I hate to say normies because I hate to insult them, but for people that aren't awake, let's put it that way, the people that are the sleepers, the normies, the people that aren't awake. I hate to use epithets, but it is what it is. So it's not for us. So why are we getting so worked up over a narrative? It's like going to the movies and then asking me to do tarot readings on the end. We already got the script. All right. Okay. So we don't know the exact ending, but we know the screenwriter, and the screenwriter said, hey, this is the main gist of the movie. This is how it's going to begin. This is going to be how it's going to go. We're not going to tell you exactly how it ends. However, the good guys win at the end. Okay. So why am I doing readings again? And what am I getting worked up about a 3D clown circus when I don't give a shit about politics? Because everything's changing anyways. This world is fundamentally changing. So why am I getting all worked up? And why are we getting all worked up when we want to go to 5D, when we want to ascend? So that's why I did the show last night. And I didn't really want to do it. I didn't have the energy, and I was tired because I was expected to do it. I didn't want to let my viewers down. And I'll admit, I wasn't a great show. I thought it sucked. I got people liked it, but I thought it was my worst show. It sucked because I wasn't into it and I was tired. And I did it because that's what I was expected of me. And I'm never going to do that again. And I don't know if I'll ever do another Saturday Night Live again, because if I'm going to be true to myself, I can't do things just to get viewers or just to appease other people, because it was a half-ass show. When you do anything when it's expected and you're not into it, it never turns out right. So it's all about being authentic. And I was saying to Azria before, when we were talking earlier, that it's getting very tiring having to jump through hoops and juggle just to get business or just to get people's attention, especially online. It's like you have to do this, and you have to create this thumbnail to get viewers, and you have to make these people happy and this people happy. You get to a point, I'm just like, I'm so fucking tired. I just want people to watch me and come to me because they like me, not because I'm doing what's the latest thing or doing the viral news or doing the hippest thing or doing what people expected of me. It's like I'm at the point now that you watch me because you watch me, not because I'm juggling, doing backflips and doing what people are fucking expected of me, like I'm a clown, like a monkey. What say you, Azria?
Oh, I'm in such agreement there, lovely. I mean, you do hit that wall, and whether it's in your personal life or your private life, or your professional life, sorry, because I know I've done it. And I mean, the thing is that we're both talking. One of the reasons we were so passionate about doing this program, and probably a few others around the same similar topics, is because we're both so passionate about these particular topics because we've lived them or living them. And I can absolutely say as well is the fact of, as you said, it's always the case of, yeah, what am I expected to do? It's kind of like being invited to a party and you're going, well, I really, really don't want to go, but yet you need to get the outfit and get your hair done, and then you go there and you're just like doing the small talk, and I was like, don't want to go. And you're not hurting anyone, you're not being nasty, you're just going, you know what, I'm going to honor me. And I'm going to do what I would like to do. I mean, yes, fair enough. It might be like your absolute best friend, and it might be their party. And you know what? They may or may not understand if you go or you don't go. But at the end of the day, it's how you feel. And I mean, I've had it in my life where I was saying, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, into what was doing and happening. And then one day I just turned around and said, no. No is a full sentence. And the minute I done that, it's well, I've done it many times in my life, but this particular time, I was like, I physically can't. As Dee was saying with the show yesterday, even though I also thought it was a good one, but it was the case of, you know what, the energy wasn't there. And it's what you're putting out. And I thought, you know what, if I can't, physically can't, and maybe we'll cover it on another show as well, is that, again, physically you might be experiencing things that just don't add up. I mean, for an example, with me, I had IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, for years. Doctors were just like, literally, they put it under that bracket because it was kind of like, well, they don't know what else it is. They were like, you need to go and lose weight and you'll get over it. Where actually it was my insides going, this is awful. This isn't you. This isn't, you're coming from a place of uncertainty and fear. And anyway, I won't go down that rabbit hole too much, but my point is that you'll feel it within yourself as well. And to me, saying no, I said I wasn't hurting anyone, but I was just like, I don't want to do it, and I can't do it. And the minute I stopped doing that, all my insides just went, oh. Like, wow. And I thought, oh, this is what it feels like. And then, but then you get the questions of, well, what do I then do? And then that's the exciting bit. That's the most exciting bit. Well, that's what I found anyway. At the start, it was quite scary because like, oh, so-and-so is not telling me what to do, and so-and-so is not telling me what to do, and I'm not doing what's expected of me, and I'm not being the carer, and I'm not being the project manager, and I'm not being the trained monkey, as Dee was saying. Yeah, now what do we do?
Yep, exactly.
I listen to me. What feels right? If I start talking about certain subjects, how does that feel? If I start talking to certain people, how does that feel? Because you know what feels wrong. So you can only go up. You know what doesn't feel right. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, or all of them. And I said, we've all been there, as Dee was sharing her story and experiences there. I mean, I could be here all night with the number of mine, but to me, that's the base of it. Is that if you're not present and you're not honoring you, because where you go, your energy flows. So if you're going, I don't really want to do this, it's not really going to go much further, is it?
Yeah.
Or if you're sending out, oh, I don't really want to be here, well, what's that you're attracting back? We're really learning and understanding and appreciating energy and resonance and frequency, and learning how, not necessarily learning, I've said learning a couple of times, but it's remembering. It's remembering how we work with this. I was like, oh yeah, actually, I found joy in doing X. So you know what, I'm going to do more, and that means I'm going to have more joy. It might be your favorite coffee, your favorite TV program, putting on your favorite top. Little things, remember? Doesn't always have to be big, life-changing things. Because that's how it started for me. I was like, oh, you know what? So-and-so says I should be wearing X, Y, and Z. You know what? I'm going to put on a bit of colour. How does that feel? 2 weeks later, I turned pink. So...
Rebel. I love it. You know, it's all about being authentic. And the thing is that we all want to ascend, but we're still holding on to these human traits, you know, these labels. And of course, like Asria said earlier in the show, we're not saying that all of a sudden you desert your friends and family and you abandon everyone. Like, okay, I'm done. Sorry, I'm ascending. See you later. Good luck with that. Good luck with the rest of your life. I'm going to 5D. Bye. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's just that I notice with my sessions with my personal clients that a lot of people are struggling. Almost everyone's struggling with the loss and who they are, because people are losing jobs and relationships are changing and marriages are ending and relationships are ending, and it's just that we have to learn to let go, and we have to learn that we are not the labels. We're not what we do for a living. We're not the amount of money we have in our bank account. We're not the relationships we are to people. We're not the titles that people give us, Mr., Mrs., the honorable, PhD at the end, whatever, insert the label. That's not who we are. And this is all about not really ascending, because we've already ascended. It's all about us remembering who we really are. Okay, because if we think about the quantum physics of it, there is no time. Everything's happening in the now. And just the different, let's say, the different points in time to differentiate, like the different years, let's say, of human time. But everything's happening in the now. And if that's the case, then everything's already happened. So we're just remembering who we are. We're just remembering who we are. So we can't get it wrong. So we have to, if we want to get to that next step of ourselves that have already in 5D. Okay. Now, if we look at, let's take quantum physics for an instance. Okay. The quantum physics is they take the smallest cell and look under it. Put it under a microscope. And when scientists see the cell turns into multiple cells, and they're all vibrating in a constant state of potentiality, meaning that there is no solid matter. It's all vibrating on a different level. Something that's really dense, like this keyboard, for instance, is going to be vibrating a lot lower. And there's Luna. She wants to be in the shot. Now Luna is vibrating higher, and she hears Auntie Delphine, and she wants to say hi.
She's trying to jump up to say hi. She was fast asleep.
Bring her up. She's so cute. But also, hi, Luna. Oh, hi, Luna. Hi, honey. She's vibrating high.
You're famous.
Hi, Luna. She's just like her mama. So, yeah. So the thing is that everything's vibrating in a state of perpetuality, a state of potentiality. So that means there's nothing really that's solid. So, and what quantum physicists found is that when they looked under the microscope, their focus and intent changed the way that those cells vibrated and what they did. So that means that the whole concept of different timelines and parallel universes is this, that everything's happening. We are in a constant state. Every choice you make is to another parallel. It's all what you focus on. So if we're focusing on our old selves, right, and all the things that we don't want, and the clown circus, and this stupid and people lying to us, and the mess of the country, what are we bringing on? So we need to focus higher. We need to not focus on our lives and the 3D bullshit, and we need to focus on where we want to be rather than where we don't want to be and where we came from. What do you think, Azria?
Yeah, you're speaking my language there, lovely. Absolutely. And I mean, again, this is the fact of, even again, we are still human. We do have that conscious mind, which sometimes gets in the way a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But when, as you said, you do focus on that forward motion, where you're going, where you go, your energy flows, exactly as Dee was saying. But then you might have kind of like that little bit of a moment. That's fine. Just bring yourself back. Because again, it's kind of like that moment where you think, right, yes, I'm doing everything. I've done, I don't know, my socials, or I've had a chat to my boss, and that's all well and good. And then all of a sudden you get that kind of, oh, but this happened, but that happened. That's okay. Just acknowledge it. My biggest thing is, that's okay. And just think, yeah, fine, move forward. Because again, you can look back. You do have memories, you do have previous lives, you do, and that's fine. But as Dee was saying, it's on that line. You can just have a quick look. Yeah, okay, that's what happened then. But actually, this is what's happening now.
Right.
This is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. I need to be. I'm going to be. When people say, for an example, say, "Oh, I'm always sick," well, you're telling yourself that, because the conscious and the subconscious is a computer in itself. So as much as you say, "Oh, I'm always sick," guess what the conscious and the subconscious mind is picking up? This person's always sick. Let's see, they're always sick. So if you then again maybe start just tweaking language a little bit, because language and words have their own frequency and vibration.
Yeah.
So if you're then saying things like, okay, yes, that's in the past and that's okay, it's almost as though, okay, I can put that to bed. But then it's kind of like, you can say, you know what, I'm an author. You might be halfway through writing your book, but you know what, I'm an author. Or you can say, right, okay, I'm maybe not express it to the whole world just yet, but within yourself, because that's where it matters. That's where it's going to vibrate. That's where it's going to feel. That's where you're going to feel it. And then you can say, right, yeah, you, as I said, utilizing language is so very, very strong. That's why people do mantras and affirmations. Might work for you, might not work for you, but it's saying those words that do resonate with you. I can give you probably about 200 affirmations and not one of them will resonate with you, and that's perfectly fine. So it is around what's going forward, and those days that you get where you do feel like absolute shit, that's okay too.
Yep.
It's not absolutely every single minute of every single day. When people say, oh no, I feel fabulous all the time because I've done all my work and I'm living in 5D, you're telling me that person doesn't have it down the couch under their duvet.
Exactly. Exactly. Who are you kidding?
Or snuggled up with their dog, which also works too.
Well, if I had a doggy like Luna, I'd be hanging out with her under the duvet. I love her. She's so cute. She's so cute, Luna. My Luna. She probably heard, she's like, oh, I haven't heard that lady in a long time. That's crazy. Auntie Delphine from the US.
Yeah, as soon as she heard your voice, she woke up. I've gone back to sleep now. She's like, oh, okay.
You know, it's this uncomfortable feeling that we're all in. And let's face it, it all sucks. Like I was telling Azria when we were speaking earlier that I would never want to go through this year again, but I honestly can say that I am authentically me. I am okay with who I am. I'm my own influence, because literally it's like all my friends live in other states or in other countries. And my friends are like my relatives that I go and see, my family. So I've been stripped of everything that gives me labels. And it's really given me, God has taken this opportunity to, it's been hard and it hasn't been easy. And you really go through a lot of, let's say I've stripped myself of every label. I've taken off every label to now I'm like, and you go through this uncomfortable, I'm bare, I'm naked. What am I now? I don't have the layer. I don't have the layer and the protection of the labels that people gave me and the definition. So it's like, who am I now? Now that no one else and all these definitions have been taken off from me and I'm naked and bare, who am I now? And that's when you really decide that I am a soul. I am a soul in flesh. I'm not the stories, the things that happen to me. I'm not the labels that people put onto me, because I'm ever changing. I'm not the labels. I'm not what I am for a living. I am who I am now. I'm just a soul in a body. And when you start from that, it's very freeing. And that's when you become authentically you, because you realize when you don't have the influence from the outside world, you have discernment. And right now, I think that's the hardest thing, is that because people are so used to getting outside opinions and influences, that people like us, that people that are on the front lines that have been kind of hermited and isolated and have been kind of shunned, or they're just spending more time alone, they're learning their own influence, their own discernment. What say you, Azria, about that?
Yeah, 100%. And it is those times. And again, I can speak from pure experience. I went from having a social, well, quite a hectic social life, and then as soon as said things started changing, I mean, wouldn't necessarily say a huge group of friends, but certainly within the marriage where I was the wife and had to play the part of hosting dinners, of going to drinks, of things like that. But then even within that, I craved the isolation. I craved the quiet. And then when I got it, the quiet was very loud.
Ooh.
The quiet became very, very loud, because it's kind of like, as Dee was saying, it was like, there's nobody around. No one's telling me what to do. There was one or two people who kind of popped in now and again, who I mentioned before, that was kind of like, oh, I won't wear this when I'm around them. And they were family and friends. I won't wear this when I'm around them, and they think I like this. But for the majority of the time, it was that time when I finally, for the first time ever, had my own space, where I could walk from one room to another in whatever I wanted. I could put on whatever I wanted on the TV. And that was the time when I started asking the questions. That was the time when, well, I was also getting the answers too. And everyone says, oh, but you're only in your X age. You should still be, I don't know, going to bars and meeting people and going to clubs and things like that. And I was like, I don't want to. Yes, okay, going to coffee with a friend or something like that was lovely, or an acquaintance, should we say. It was lovely, or with parents or grandparents. But actually, that other time was liberating, because you then got time to go inside, and you didn't have any other distractions. But you also then had the distraction of, oh no, you're this age, you should be, getting another partner by now and getting married by now, and why aren't you at this bar or this event? And I'm like, no. And it was that time that, yes, there were some days where I thought, well, what is wrong with me? Why am I not doing what everybody else does at my age? Even though I was that age, but I still feel a lot older, but that's a conversation for another day. It was the most healing time, and I now realize that it was the time when my connections were made stronger. It was the times not only with here, but with here. And as you said, that discernment that might have always been there, but again, it was, now you got this label and that label and this label, and you need to go and do this, you need to go and do that. So yeah, I absolutely agree. And as I said, sometimes it was a little bit hard not necessarily seeing too many people a lot of the time and working. I mean, I was the one who was working from home before it was fashionable at that particular place and time. So which was very, very interesting. So don't ever feel that just because you're a certain age, you should be doing a certain thing, because actually what you are doing is ascending, for want of a word. You're going in and up rather than out. Because again, it's remembering who we are. And the more of us that do that, guess what that's going to do to the planet and to the vibration as a whole? Because 10, 20 years ago, we're still in a particular phase, but now more people are waking up. They're heightening their vibrations. Gaia's changing. Her vibration is changing. So you know what? Guess what it's going to be like in another 5 years? I can't wait. Been waiting for this time for a very, very long time. And that's when I start. Ah, there we go. Yeah, for a very, very long time. Because that's when people will go, that's me. This is me. And sit in and be in that frequency and know it and trust it. It's like when people go through things aren't going quite as well as they should do, and then all of a sudden something will happen and it will go on to the next phase, because actually it's trusting in you, it's trusting in the process, it's trusting in yourself, rather than trying to make things happen. Because trust me, I'm very, very impatient. Very, very impatient. And we're like, right, come on, okay, I've done the divorce thing, I've done the healing thing. I'm starting to run the business now. Now what? Come on, world. And then they went, right, put you on your ass.
Yep.
You got a bit quick. And they did.
Yep.
I got absolutely shoved on my ass and was in bed for about 3 months. So just take it easy and don't be hard on yourself. Because again, where you go, energy flows. So if you're being mean and pushing you, you are doing you.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, authenticity is the highest vibration. And we're all learning to become sovereign. And you can't be sovereign while relying on everyone else, their opinions, how they think, how they act. Being sovereign is you being a leader. And the only way you become a leader in your life is if you become completely self-sufficient and independent of everyone. So God has told me that the isolation is not condemnation. The isolation is our coronation. I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to get emotional. The isolation is not condemnation. The isolation is our coronation. We're putting on our tiaras, our crowns, and we're becoming sovereign. And becoming sovereign is being our own influences, is being our own best friend, is listening to ourselves first, our higher selves. We are merging with our higher selves, which is our connection to God, source, whatever you want to label it. Okay, I call God. It's our connection to all our divine beings, all the help on the other side to heaven. And the only way that we become sovereign and the only way that we practice our discernment is by having ourselves, being our own influence, being sovereign, listening to ourselves. So our isolation has been our coronation, because how are you going to ever know who you are if you're always listening to and depending on others? If you're always getting the opinions and the attitudes and what other people think in your ear. You should think this, you should do this, It's only when you isolate, when you're hermited, is when you become your best friend. You become yourself, your own higher self. It becomes your biggest influence. You are your biggest influencer. How are you ever going to become a leader if you're constantly a follower? So This isolation is our coronation. And it's all about being who you are, authenticity. Because there's a million other people, but there's only one you. So what say you to what I just said, Azria?
Yeah, definitely. There is only one you. There is only, you are that unique frequency. You are that unique vibration, that unique resonance. That is you. It's not who somebody told you to be. Because the one thing is that, as I said at the beginning, some people remember when they were 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. And I'll go back to it. So it was the girl who spoke to the roses in the playground rather than made friends. It was the one who had the most amazing imagination. Then parents or someone might have told them, "No, don't be so silly." Go back to that. Have that imagination. Love that music. Like wearing the bright colours. Because at the end of the day, that is you. And again, as Dee said, being it unapologetically. I went to a musical, Six, in the West End not too long ago, and one of the songs in there is Sorry Not Sorry. You know what? I'm going to be me. Sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry because I'm me. So, yeah, either, yeah, come and see me or, yeah, bye-bye. Because you know what? I'm not doing as you told me to do. Again, we're not saying this in like a relationship where maybe you're looking after children. I mean, there's a whole different thing. We're talking about you as an individual. Because I've just got these couple of questions that are kind of going around in my head that maybe a few of you might be asking. So please do, and Dee, if you don't mind me saying, do put the questions in. We will be in the chat, or we will be able to pick them up, and indeed maybe do further conversations and further shows based on those questions, because
Yes,
you're probably
absolutely.
asking the same questions that we're asking, or you're
Yep.
probably asking the same questions that another 200, 300, 500,000 people, sorry, I'm not very good with numbers, are asking. So if you're asking it, ask us. We might know the answer, we might not, but you know what, we'll have a chat about it, because that's how, as Dee was saying earlier, we had a conversation, and then it was kind of like, you know what, let's share this. Let's share this. This is our experience. This is what we're going through, what we've been through. And so what if we are, others are. We might be, I'm not saying we might be a little bit further along the path than others. We might not be as far as others. Doesn't matter. Everyone knows more than another person somewhere, somehow. And that's fine. And that's the exciting thing. A lot of the time when we put these labels on and these expectations, it's almost as though it's kind of like we should know things. Or that person knows more than me, or that person's better than me. Well, no. We just know different things, and we're good at some other things, and that's okay. And as I said, the most exciting bit about it is learning. As I said, I work with a group of beings who told me a while ago, are collectively known as the scholars. There's one or two other names that are coming through, but that, one of the reasons is even, oh, here we go, even they are learning. There we go. They are teaching. They're teaching me. They're probably teaching thousands of others. But at the same time, they're learning. So scholars are the forever learning people, beings. Turn yourself into a scholar. Be the one who teaches others, but who who is going to spend the rest of their life learning, because that is so exciting. It's so exciting. Because you know what? I don't know everything. He doesn't know everything. We know a lot about a lot. And we get told about a lot. Like I just am now. And they'll stop in a minute.
When they want to talk, you got to let them talk. I know.
Yeah, pretty much. But I hope
they
that
will
makes
be heard. They will be heard one way or another. So you just got to go with it.
Absolutely.
No, amen. I agree. We just have to be ourselves, and none of us have all the answers. And as much as Asri and I, we are considered, I guess, spiritual teachers, I know that I'm on here every time I get on and do a show, I'm learning as well as I'm teaching. The teacher becomes the student and the student becomes the teacher. It's all the same. So if you have ideas for other shows, please put it in the comments or the chat. We will be in the live chat later on. I'm going to, as I said earlier, I'm going to release this as a live. But we decided to do the show because we know what we're going through, and with all our different clients, what you're going through. And it's all about self-love and being who you are. Stop comparing yourself to others. Yes, we are on this ascension journey together, and we're going to have a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same moods and a lot of the same ascension symptoms. But this is not a one size fits all. You are unique, and you need to embrace your uniqueness and your authenticity. God loves you. We have divine beings that adore us, angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, galactic beings that absolutely adore us and are cheering us on. Just because we don't see them physically, because we can only see like 1/1000th of the light spectrum or something like that. Don't quote me on it. But there's so much that we can't see. In other words, it's like we only see a little tiny bit of what's really going on of reality. Doesn't mean that we aren't the stars of the show. We've got the whole galaxy watching us, baby. We are the stars. If you knew how much you are loved and what you've gone through, remember who you are. Be you. Be unapologetically you. Authenticity is the highest vibration. It's all about authenticity. Azria, is there anything that you would like to say before we end the show?
No, I think you put that beautifully. So no, happy to end on that because that was just so beautiful.
Right. One last thing. There's so many people that ask me, oh, Lady D, I don't know what to believe. This reader says this one says this truther says this spiritual teacher says this. And there's all these conflicting opinions. And Azri and I have spoken about this before. And even I have, if you get too many opinions, there's too many chefs in the kitchen, right? So to speak. Yeah. You have to go, what feels right to you? What resonates with you? That's what's true. You have to use your own discernment. And how do you discern what feels right to you? What feels right in your heart and soul, in your gut? Anything you want to say about that, Azria?
Absolutely. And as you said, there is, as much as when I was saying about there's the internet and everything like that, there is so much information. And whether it's good, bad, negative, informative, also, again, look at the language people use. I say look at the language. It's not necessarily the people that say you must know or you must do or you should do. You shouldn't do anything you don't want to do. So, yes, I absolutely 110%. And that's what I say to my clients within the connection calls, within the start of any of the sessions, is what resonates with you. When we look at the frequencies of the different star beings within that field, you might say, yeah, actually, yeah, you're telling me there's Lyra and you're telling me that there's Andromeda. But actually, yeah, I feel more with the Lyrans, but actually the Andromedans, it's there, but maybe not so much. And you know what? That's okay. That is perfectly fine. I trust my truth. I trust them. And you trust you. It might resonate maybe a few weeks down the line, a few months down the line, and that is fine. Because I've had clients come back to me nearly a year later going, you said, and I said, nah, well, funnily enough, this happened, that happened. Wonderful. Because you're picking up on what's in there and that moment. You could hear that somebody's been listening to you've been listening to a particular podcast for years, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, I don't like the sounds of that. That's fine. Who says you have to listen to it all the time? They said it's that discernment. How does it feel? Again, like when you walk into a room and everyone's maybe smiling and going, oh yeah, this is fantastic. Where actually what you can feel is the grief, the anger, the upset. Trust it. Okay, maybe I'll just have one conversation and then I'll leave. That's okay too.
Yep.
Because the
Absolutely.
outside is different than the inside.
I love it. It's all about authenticity, folks. It's all about taking off the layers of bullshit until you find who you are. And we'll be talking more about this because this is a great topic. So until then, I don't know. You'll see Asri and I probably sometime this upcoming week. But until then, we're wishing you all the best. Be unapologetically and authentically you. It's all about authenticity. Be who you are. Don't try to be anyone else. And love yourself. Bye, everybody. And you know where to get in touch with us. All our information is in the description of the show. We'll see you later. Bye.